If you're watching this video, it means you already hit silver and are watching it because you already watched maybe my video to how to rank up through bronze. You have hot dropped, you got into early fights, and now you need to take things up just a little bit. Let's answer the first question. Does my legend matter yet at silver? The answer is no. Your goal should be continue to find passion, fun, and drive within the game at the moment. Forcing any player to play a specific way can be a turnoff and help you lose that passion. You don't want to lose that. So just keep enjoying the legend that you're playing. If you got through bronze, you can easily get through silver, I promise. The way you should be playing is still getting into good fights, rotating, and for positioning. The new thing you're going to experience, though, is that you're going to lose points. It means you're now going to lose minus 12. What does that mean? Well, you need to decide, are you confident off drop to maintain an elimination? Because remember, getting one elimination means that you're minus 2. And of course, this also depends on the current opponents that you're facing. Because getting one elimination and one assist means that you're at a net positive. But of course, like I mentioned, is that if you fight somebody at a higher rank, lower rank, then that number goes up and down. But at least you know, at least with 2, that you're always going to be a net positive. But there's also a higher emphasis on placement by hitting at least top 5 because the multiplier really kicks in at that point. On screen, you can see 5 eliminations at the top 11, but it still doesn't add that big multiplier. It depends on the season. At the current season, definitely a higher emphasis on placement. You always need to balance that though. So outside of this guy, just remember how many eliminations do I have and how can I get better points based on my placement. So eliminations, placement, balancing. This rank system may not be permanent and we continue to see changes every other season, kind of depending on what works effectively. So what do you do if you are silver ranked? The best tip, obtain a strong fight you can win off drop. A 50-50 can work. But as you continue to improve, a 30-30-30 is not going to work. If 5 teams drop on you, that's probably not going to work and not going to help you improve. Because at this point, you know how to at least fight. You need to assess, can I get a better armor? Do you have a decent loadout you're comfortable with? Do you have heals and ammo? These should be your biggest priorities as your kit is vital to ensure you can stay in a fight or have a good chance to get out ahead. Because if you run out of ammo, you're not dealing damage. If you have no heals, you cannot engage. If you don't have ideal armor, you're going to struggle if an opponent has purple versus your, let's say, white armor. And also you need to make sure that you have the right loadout. Because let's say you land on a charge rifle and your opponent gets a peacekeeper. Well, that probably means you're going to have to rotate and get out. You probably can't win that. Probably not going to be able to fight. Of course, you can try, make your best effort, but remember, you got minus 12 points. You don't want to waste your time because you're losing points. Because we all know at the end what happens with a charge rifle versus a peacekeeper. Realistically, you can get through all of silver in just 5.5 wins because you need 1,200 total RP to get through. First place, you currently need 5 KP to max out. Second, 6 KP to max out. Third place, 7 KP to max out. I don't want to get too hung up on the current system, and I apologize that we're kind of reiterating it. I don't want to get too hung up on the current system, but I just want to reiterate some additional tips. Crafters can be your best friend to reduce RNG, meaning if you have no batteries, you can craft them up. Struggle with loadouts, flatline and longbow are great to help you out. Now, how fast is the lobby going out? Does it seem like a lot of people are dropping hot? Can you land near the action? Or if the lobby is going really slow and people are playing safe, then you kind of identify it. Let's look at 3 different rounds real quick, very high level on 3 different starts. So let's look at those. Now in this round, the very end of it actually turned out to be around 14 eliminations. My biggest tip is to remember, even though you want to get a lot of eliminations at start, as you continue to rank up, people sometimes take a little bit more importance on their KP. So as you land hot, let's go to skip ahead just a little bit. You'll notice that maybe this encounter wasn't as crazy, right? We noticed that the lobby wasn't necessarily dropping really hot, so I decided to drop with the team a little bit safe. Not that big of a deal, and also the zone is pulling towards us. So as the zone pulls towards you, you can start to gate people out. You can start to get into an encounter later, because realistically, we didn't really get into a fight for quite some time. It's already 2 minutes in. As we keep skipping forward, we realize, look how much time has actually passed, but our armor situation is looking pretty good, right? Got at least a gold, which means that you can get in and out of a fight, but realize that still, even though there's 10 squad left, that I still got 14 eliminations. So yeah, you can take the lobby a little slow, and you notice now that I got -2 here. So at least we know that the first fight we get into, that we're going to net positive some points, and that is what's most important as you continue to fight. So let's take a look how long it took. We got into our first fight here, eliminated 1, and that's really all I'm really going to highlight. Because while it did take a little bit to actually get into an encounter, whenever we did get into an encounter, well, at least we got our plus KP. So if a lobby, if you happen to land safe and your teammates don't want to push, it's okay. You're going to get the KP later. So let's highlight the next round that I want to showcase. 2 other rounds. One that we kind of dropped, we got 50-50. Another one where we actually landed a little hot, and let's discuss that. All right, what you're looking at here is not necessarily the hottest spot to drop because, you know, Bonsai can be a lot harder of a drop, but Solar Ray can definitely be contested. So we do get contested fairly early on, but luckily I find myself a Wingman, which is a great starter weapon, great burst damage, and gives some confidence going to the encounter. Already have an R99 already looted up, so knowing where the loot is very, very important. You'll see even somebody who runs in who clearly didn't know where the loot is, and that kind of comes with people within this ranking who are just kind of clueless and just pretty much gives the elimination for free. One person rolls up but doesn't probably have the ideal loadout. There is a blue armor sitting there. They probably swapped, but that's kind of the plus side to this, right? You swap armors whenever you can. He's still running around with no weapons, so the best advice I can provide to anybody on silver, you gotta know where the loot is. We gave that in bronze, but it still shocks me even within silver and gold because I know they kind of share that same MMR, the mistakes that are constantly made. So this is early KP, this is more of a hot drop, at least if you're in a 50-50. If you're silver, you don't necessarily want to drop with multiple teams because the loot table gets spread thin. You'll end up like that Pathfinder running around with nothing to do, and you're pretty much just out of options. And that's the unfortunate reality that you kind of have to run into. So that's the best tip I can provide. So you saw one round where it was a safer drop where you got all the loot. And if you get loot, make sure that you have really, really good loot. At least come out with a purple at that point when you push the next team. If you realize you don't have a whole lot, again, that's where you need to ensure that you have a crafter near your area to kind of maximize on it. So got 3 kills here. I believe this ended up being I think 12... We were still in this general area. When you're in the center of the map, let me tell you, you really end up pretty much fighting within that area because everyone tries to third it and everything. This poor guy, I guess, pretty much gave up. But, you know, I guess he wanted a box, but I just didn't even realize it until I finished him. But it is what it is. Let's go on to the next round and let's review the next one. Okay, the beauty of this one is that there's a crafter here, and this one was actually contested off drop, at least with a 50-50. So I know I was landing Rift a lot. We're not really landing super hot because at this point I just want to get early eliminations. You don't really know who your teammates are, so you kind of have to play the RNG, like, is this going to go well? Is this not going to go well? Let's try to figure this out and kind of go from there. So there was a team that did land nearby, but at least if you land where loot is, you notice that one team landed a little late. Well, this is a plus side. At least you have the advantage over them, and you should push immediately or try to fight them out, especially if they landed late. So know where your stuff is, contest them, and you'll end up kind of clutching out because a lot of people tend to make this mistake at early MMR by not grabbing the right loot that they need to grab, or they just kind of panic. If you land hot, still know where the loot is, know where you need to go, because that's going to net you your early KP, because then all you got to do is rotate to zone and just get a little bit of placement. At least, you know, the top 5 with at least 3 KP is going to net you a lot of positive points, and that's a really great situation to be in. This is really outside of just like wanting to constantly push everything. You don't have to push everything in ranked. You can play a little more patiently, and you still end up with a lot of kills at the end, because trust me, a lot of teams will end up rotating into you, making a lot of different mistakes, especially if you gatekeep them out or anything of that nature. So have the teams make the mistakes and come to you. This is a very popular tactic that most teams, like even like TSM, will make. They'll go to zone after they got maybe like an early fight or early rotation, then they'll make sure to fight for zone and gatekeep and make sure that it plays at their advantage. It's a very smart way to play, because you know the eliminations are going to come at some point, and you are going to end up having to fight whatever teams that you need to fight for better positioning. So hopefully this video was helpful. This was 3 different drops. I know they're not super hot drops. That's kind of the point, is that when you're in silver, just start, you know how to fight. You should know how to fight. If you know how to fight, then don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about trying to get into a fight anymore. If you don't, then go drop a little hot in pubs, or maybe do drop hot, but at least know where the loot is. And take your time. It's perfectly fine if you make mistakes. Again, it's only -12, and you can get that back really quickly. Let's say if you got, you know, top, let's skip ahead a little bit further in this video. If you get top 8 with at least 5 KP, that's plus 55 points, at least you can make 3 rounds that are just really, really bad. And if 3 rounds are really, really bad, then you don't really have much to worry about, so I wouldn't really stress. So don't worry too much about always trying to win. You know, try not to rat too much. Try to actually go for fights, go for encounters. You'll notice that even in the footage here, where I'm not hesitating to go into a fight. You push, somebody's on you, somebody's trying to contest your space, you fight for it. You don't run away. You fight for what is yours. You know, don't take the easy way out and say, oh my gosh, there's a team here, I need to rotate out and run. No, fight for your spot. If it's a good spot, fight for it. If a team is kind of caught out and there's not a lot of third parties or anything anywhere, fight for it. Have some purpose in what you're doing. We were playing ranked yesterday, actually. I was helping a friend level up through Diamond, and I found it shocking that the first fight we got into, the person just ran away, and we got a knock. I was like, where are you going? Like, you should just fight at this point. Like, see, even though that person ran away, there's another fight here. We got full armies, you got full ammo. Just engage in it. Just stay in it to win it. And like, I'm full egoing at this point, and that's when I realized, okay, I'm being a little dumb. Just kind of fighting out in the open is perfectly fine to kind of just full ego it if you're just kind of feeling it. But of course, play positioning if a team is definitely playing a lot smarter, and that's how you pretty much get your wins. And then we'll kind of follow up on this conversation rotation and gold, because you got to start being smart in your rotation. So hopefully you found the video regarding ranked in terms of silver. This is going to be a progressive series. We'll review some stuff around gold and kind of highlight some of the changes. But you'll notice right off the rip that a lot of people don't know how to land, and that's kind of the big advice I can provide for silver. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys all in the next video.